Every fairy tale begins with once upon a time. It ends with happily ever after. But what takes place in the middle is key to happily ever after in a lifetime of success. Today, we will discover this truth: why everyone needs an enemy, because every good story has one. Everyone needs an enemy to discover the hero within them. Without an enemy, most people will remain complacent their entire lives. Every great movie has an antagonist that is trying to prevent a person from achieving a goal. In fact, heroes are revealed when things go wrong and never when things go right. But when do we need heroes to be revealed? When there's a problem to solve, a person to rescue, a right to wrong, so that the bad guy can be exposed. Heroes come onto the scene when their enemies look to destroy them and those closest to them. In order to overcome your enemies, you must understand that success always attracts attack. When someone becomes jealous of your success, they will look to eliminate you from your assignment. According to Brian Tracy, the three biggest enemies of success are the comfort zone, learned helplessness, and the path of least resistance. Let's talk about the comfort zone. Most people love living in a place that is most comfortable for them and their family. There's nothing wrong with that. The hero in you will never be revealed until there's a problem to solve. And to become a hero, you must be willing to get involved in other people's lives and problems and offer a solution. The hero is not always the strongest or the most intelligent, but they are usually the most available. And then there's learned helplessness. And I love this because learned helplessness says this: I am not strong enough to help anyone else. I have more problems than the people I'm trying to rescue. I tried being a hero before, but it didn't work. And then number four, I just wish to be left alone. So they take the path of least resistance. I'm looking for an easy way to solve the problem. Is there another way than fighting the dragon to rescue the girl? Someone is better equipped than I am. I'm not the one. Find someone else. How many people have said that to themselves and to others? I'm not the one. Find someone else. The story of David, the story of David and Goliath has been told and retold for generations. It's about a young man that has an opportunity to slay a giant to bring peace to his nation. David's maybe about 5'7" and 140 pounds, and his job up to this point is to take care of his father's sheep. Goliath, on the other hand, is over 7 feet tall, 300 pounds, and a warrior since birth, and he has never been defeated. On paper, this looks like no contest. Everyone is placing money on Goliath. And even David's own community does not believe he's able to overcome these odds. Someone once said that the difference between the hero and the coward is that the hero runs towards the battle while the coward runs away from the war. We read how David runs towards Goliath with his slingshot. He fires it into the head of Goliath, kills him, and cuts off his head. Crowd is stunned. The bookies lose their money, but the nation is saved. David had two things that all heroes possess: courage and confidence. He wasn't afraid of the obstacles standing in his way. And if you are able to defeat your enemies, you must possess those two qualities as well. But some of us are dealing with personal giants, like the giant of pain and sickness, financial giants, or relationships that are just not going the way that we thought they would go. So when we're dealing with our personal giants, a lot of people respond to their enemies this way: why me? I deserve better. I'm giving up because the enemy is too big and I'm too small. Then we question God about why I have to fight in the first place. When the ordinary person taps into their resolve and perseverance, they have the ability to tap into their superpower. They go from Clark Kent to Superman. Their ordinary gets an extra boost of power. and what was once ordinary becomes extraordinary. Their natural way of doing things now allows them to put super on top of their natural, that now allows them to do supernatural things. David taps into an extraordinary supernatural part of himself, believing that he could do all things through God that gave him the strength to overcome his giants. But what about you? Are you thinking about giving up? Are you justifying why the obstacle is too big or the giants are too tall? Some of you are saying, why try? Because I failed so many times before. But you didn't fail. You just realized that those prior things didn't work. In the 2006 movie called Superman Returns, Lois Lane, who's a newspaper reporter, wrote that the world doesn't need a savior. And Superman responds to her, says, "You wrote that the world doesn't need a savior, but every day I hear people crying for one." The world is looking for someone to save them. They are looking for heroes, perhaps the hero that is waiting to be revealed in you. So don't give up and don't quit. David was a boy that answered the call because there was a need. We read about the hero that couldn't swim but jumps into a lake because a child was drowning. We hear about the fireman that enters into a burning building because there's a little girl and her dog and they were trapped and they needed to be rescued. And we hear the countless stories of soldiers that lose their lives in order to protect our freedom. But what do they all have in common? They were all ordinary people moved by extraordinary events to defeat the clear and present danger. They reacted and responded because there was a need and a cry for help. In 1974, there was a song called The Tin Man by the band America. And one of the lyrics in the song was this: "But Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have." It refers to the movie The Wizard of Oz that finds Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Cowardly Lion, my favorite one, and the Tin Man on a journey to destroy the enemy of the Emerald City. Each person on this journey is faced with their biggest fear. Dorothy, will she ever get home again? The Scarecrow, will he ever be smart enough? The Cowardly Lion, will he ever find his courage and become brave again? And then the Tin Man, will he ever have a heart of compassion and empathy? The Wicked Witch of the West is the enemy. She's the antagonist. But without facing her and destroying her influence over their destiny, they are stuck with what ifs, maybes, and perhaps. And if you don't face your enemies, you'll be faced with those same what ifs, maybes, and perhaps. The confrontation with the witch reveals their true character and their true destiny. Without the witch, without confronting their enemy, they would still be stuck fighting over crows, afraid of everything, and wrestling away in some forgotten field. Oz never gave the Tin Man nothing he didn't already have except for one thing: an opportunity to reveal his true self and identity. That is why you need an enemy. Without one, you will never discover your superpower. Allow the extra on top of your ordinary and your super on top of your natural. Until your pain to change exceeds your pain to remain the same, you will always stay the same. When your enemy comes at you with all of his might, this is not the time to retreat or throw in the towel. It is the time to tap into the hero within you, to conquer your mountains and step into your destiny. This is an opportunity to take charge of your life because there's an opportunity up ahead to answer the call. Remember what Lois Lane said to Superman, that the world doesn't need a savior, to which he replied, "Then why do I hear people crying for one every day?" Perhaps you are the superhero that someone needs. Someone's counting on you. Someone's been praying for you to arrive on the scene. Now go out there and slay your giants. Peace.